Tom lived alone on a quiet colony planet called New Terra. His house was small, made of metal and wood, sitting on the edge of a green forest. The nearest town was many kilometers away. Tom didn't mind the silence. He worked as a repairman, fixing machines, solar panels, and water pipes. People came to him when things broke, but most days, he was by himself. At night, he liked to sit outside and look at the stars. New Terra's sky was full of bright colors: purple clouds, golden moons, and silver stars. But one night, something strange happened. As Tom sat on his porch drinking hot tea, he saw a bright light streak across the sky. It wasn't like a normal shooting star. It was bigger, and it was falling fast. The light disappeared behind the trees with a loud boom. The ground shook a little. Birds flew out of the forest in fear. Tom stood up quickly. "That wasn't just a meteor," he said. He grabbed his flashlight and walked into the woods, following the smoke in the air. After about 20 minutes of walking, he saw something glowing in the clearing. It was a small spaceship, half buried in the dirt. Steam hissed from its sides. One of the doors was half open. Tom stepped closer, careful not to touch anything hot. Then he heard a soft sound of voice, a weak, soft voice. "Help, please." Tom leaned forward and saw someone inside. It was a girl, not human, but not frightening either. Her skin had a slight blue tone. Her eyes were big and soft. Her hair was silver and short. She was wearing a simple white suit, torn in some places. She looked very young and very tired. Tom reached inside and helped her sit up. She looked at him and spoke again. "I can serve. I can obey. I can warm your bed," she said softly. Tom's eyes widened. What did you say?" She blinked, as if trying to remember something. "That is my purpose. I was made for you, for humans." Tom didn't understand what she meant, but he knew one thing: she was hurt and needed help. He gently picked her up and carried her out of the pod. She was light, almost weightless. "I'll ask questions later," he said. "Let's get you somewhere warm." Back at his cabin, Tom laid the girl on his couch and covered her with a soft blanket. He gave her warm soup, which she drank slowly. Her hand shook a little, but her eyes never left his face. "I'm Tom," he said. "What's your name?" She hesitated. "I'm called Leary." "Where are you from?" "I don't know the human word." "Far away. Another system. My ship was attacked. I escaped." Tom nodded. He could see she was scared. "You're safe now," he said kindly. "No one will hurt you here." Leary looked around the room. She seemed confused by the old furniture, books, and the smell of wood. Her eyes stopped at a photo of Earth on the wall. "Is that your world?" she asked. "Yes," Tom replied. "That's Earth." Leary smiled softly. "It looks beautiful." Over the next few days, Leary stayed in Tom's cabin. She healed quickly, faster than a human would. She had some kind of special energy inside her, like her body repaired itself faster. She started helping Tom around the house, sweeping the floor, cleaning dishes, and even cooking simple meals using what she learned by watching. One morning, Tom saw her trying to fold his clothes. "You don't have to do all this, you know," he said. "But I want to," Leary answered. "It is my purpose. I was created to make humans comfortable, to serve, to obey, and to keep your bed warm." Tom cleared his throat awkwardly. "You really don't need to say that last part." Leary tilted her head. "Why? That is part of my service list. I was trained for that." Tom looked at her closely. She was serious, but her voice wasn't robotic. She wasn't a machine. She felt more like a person trying to understand the world. "Listen, Leary," Tom said gently. "Here, people choose what they want to do. You don't have to serve anyone. You can be free." Leary looked confused. "Free? I don't understand." Tom sighed. "It's okay. You'll learn. Just know that you can do what you want here. You don't have to follow orders." She didn't say anything for a while. Then she smiled a little and said, "Then I choose to help you. Is that okay?" Tom nodded. "Yes, that's okay." One night, Tom sat near the fire, reading an old book. Leary sat across from him, watching the flames. "Tom," she said suddenly, "why do you live alone?" Tom looked up. I used to be in a big city, but people were always busy, always rushing. I like the quiet here. Do you get lonely? Tom paused. Sometimes, but I'm used to it. Leary looked into the fire. I don't want to be alone again. Tom closed his book. You're not alone anymore. She smiled. It was small, but it was real. That night, as Tom went to bed, he saw Leary standing in the hallway. Do you need something? He asked. She looked nervous. I still want to keep you warm, but not because I was told to, because I choose to. Tom smiled kindly. Thank you, Leary. But tonight, you can just rest. You've done enough. She nodded, turned, and walked to her room. Tom stood there for a moment, thinking about how fast things had changed. Just a few days ago, he was alone. Now, there was someone else here. Someone not from Earth. Someone who didn't understand freedom, but wanted to learn. He turned off the light, closed his eyes, and whispered, "Welcome to New Terra, Leary." The sun rose slowly over New Terra, filling the sky with pink and gold. Tom stepped outside with a mug of tea in his hand. The air was fresh. Birds were singing in the trees. It was a peaceful morning. Inside the cabin, Leary was already awake. She was in the kitchen, standing on her toes to reach the top shelf. She had found a cookbook the night before and wanted to surprise Tom with breakfast. Tom walked in, smiling when he saw her. "You're up early. I wanted to make food for you," Leary said. "But this book is confusing. What is flour? And why does it go into everything?" Tom laughed. "Flour is the white powder in the big jar. It's used in pancakes, bread, and all kinds of things." Leary looked at the jar. "It looks like dust." "It kind of is," Tom said. "But tasty dust." She blinked and nodded seriously. "Then I will use the tasty dust." Tom helped her prepare the food. They made simple flat pancakes with fruit on the side. Leary watched his hands closely, learning every movement. She liked learning. It made her feel useful in a good way, not because she was programmed, but because she chose to do it. As they sat down to eat, Leary looked at Tom. "I want to ask something." "Sure," Tom said. "Why do humans live alone? You are kind and strong. Why is no one else here with you?" Tom took a bite before answering. "Not all humans live alone. I just like the quiet. After working for many years with lots of noise and people, I wanted peace." Leary nodded slowly. "But peace feels empty sometimes." Tom looked at her. It did. Before he arrived, Leary's eyes widened a little, and her lips curved into a small smile. She liked hearing that. After breakfast, Tom took Leary outside. He showed her how to plant seeds in the garden. She wore one of his old shirts, rolled up at the sleeves and tied around her waist. "This is soil," Tom explained. "We dig, we place the seed, then we cover it and water it." Leary followed every step carefully. "And then it grows, slowly," Tom said. "But yes," she touched the soil gently. "I like this. It feels alive." Tom watched her. She moved with wonder, like a child seeing the world for the first time. She didn't act like a servant. She acted like someone who wanted to belong. Later that day, Tom opened one of his broken machines to repair. It was a water purifier from a nearby farm. Leary watched him work, then quietly asked, "May I try?" Tom handed her a small tool. "Be careful." Leary leaned and touched the wires. Her fingers moved quickly, almost like she had done this before. "You're good at this," Tom said with surprise. "I was given technical skills and training," she replied. "I know many things, but they feel like dreams, like memories from someone else." Tom nodded slowly. "Maybe they are not just memories. Maybe they're gifts." She looked at him. "You speak kindly to me, not like I am a tool." "You're not," Tom said. "You're a person. You just don't know it yet." Leary didn't speak for a moment. Then she whispered, "I want to be a person." That evening, a woman from the nearby town came by to pick up a repaired drone. Her name was Mila, and she was friendly, with bright eyes and a cheerful smile. Leary stood behind Tom, watching as he talked to Mila. They laughed about something, and Mila touched Tom's arm. Leary frowned slightly. She didn't understand the feeling inside her, but it felt like a small pain in her chest. When Mila left, Leary asked, "Is she your mate?" Tom raised an eyebrow. "Mila, no. We're just friends." "Would you want her to warm your bed?" Tom almost dropped his cup. "Leary, where did you get that idea?" Leary looked down. "I saw you smile at her. You smiled the same way you smiled at me yesterday." Tom took a breath and spoke gently. "Leary, smiling doesn't always mean love. It can mean happiness, respect, or just being polite. There's more to human feelings than you know." "I want to learn," Leary said softly. Tom sat down beside her. "You don't have to rush. Just be yourself. You're doing fine." As night came, Leary sat by the window and stared at the stars. Tom joined her with 2 cups of warm tea. "Do you miss your people?" he asked. "I was never close to them," Leary replied. "We were trained together, but we were not free to talk about feelings. I did not know friendship. I did not know kindness." She looked at Tom with soft eyes. "Now I know." Tom placed a hand gently on her shoulder. "You're welcome here. Leary, you can stay as long as you want." She smiled again. "Then I will stay. Not because I must, but because I want to." That night, Tom was reading in bed when he heard a soft knock at his door. "Come in," he said. Leary stepped in, holding a pillow. "May I sit here?" "Of course," Tom said, making space. She sat beside him, not saying anything at first. Then she spoke in a quiet voice. "When I said I could warm your bed, I didn't understand what it truly meant." Tom looked at her. "You don't have to say that anymore." "I know," she said. "Now I want to say something else." "What is it?" "I don't want to serve just because I was made to. I want to choose to serve you. And not as a servant, as a friend." Tom felt something warm grow inside him. He smiled and nodded. "Then we are friends, Leary." She leaned her head on his shoulder, and they sat in silence, listening to the wind outside. Days passed quietly on New Terra, and Tom's cabin no longer felt empty. Since Leary had arrived, everything had changed. The silence was now filled with her soft voice, her gentle laughter, and the sound of her learning new things every day died in the mornings. Tom and Leary worked in the garden together. Leary had become very good at planting seeds and watering them. She gave each plant a name, even the vegetables. "This one is called Leafy," she said, pointing to a lettuce. "And this one is Redhead," she added, smiling at a tomato plant. Tom laughed. "You know they can't hear you, right?" "Maybe," Leary replied. "But they grow better when I talk to them." Tom didn't argue. The garden was already greener and more alive than it had ever been. Maybe she was right. One afternoon, Leary found an old radio in the storage room. It was broken and dusty. She picked it up and brought it to Tom. "Can we fix this?" she asked. Tom looked at it and nodded. "It's a challenge, but yes, want to try together?" Leary's eyes lit up. "Yes, I like fixing things with you." They sat at the workbench, side by side. Tom explained each tool while Leary carefully opened the device. Her hands moved with care and skill. Sometimes she made mistakes, but she always asked questions and listened. After 2 hours, the radio made a crackling sound. Then a soft voice came through the speaker. "This is Colony Channel 1. Weather is clear today. Temperature is mild." "It works," Leary said, her eyes wide with joy. Tom smiled. "We did it together." Leary nodded. "That's the best part." In the evenings, they watched old Earth movies on a small screen. Leary was fascinated by them. She loved the stories, the music, and the way humans in the movies showed emotion. But sometimes she didn't understand everything. Why did the girl cry when the man left? She asked during one movie. Because she loved him, Tom explained, and she was afraid he wouldn't come back. But he said he would return. Leary said, "Sometimes. Even promises can't take away fear," Tom replied. Leary sat quietly for a while, thinking. Then she looked at Tom and said, "If you ever leave, I will wait, even if I feel afraid." Tom didn't know what to say. He only nodded and gave her a kind smile. As the days went by, Leary changed. She still liked helping, still cooked meals, and cleaned the cabin. But she also started doing things just for herself. She painted small pictures of the forest. She wrote short poems about the stars. She even made a necklace from smooth stones she found near the river. I made this, she said, placing the necklace in Tom's hand. It's beautiful, Tom said. Is it for me? No, Leary replied with a laugh. It's for me. But I'll make one for you next. Tom laughed too. He liked this new Leary, curious, creative, and full of life. She wasn't just following orders anymore. She was becoming her own person. One morning, Leary found Tom sitting outside, looking up at the sky. He looked serious. Are you thinking about Earth? She asked. A little, Tom said. I left a long time ago. Sometimes I wonder what it would be like to go back. Do you miss it? Sometimes. But I don't miss the noise or the crowds. Would you leave New Terra? Tom looked at her. Not now. Not with you here. Leary smiled softly. Then I'm glad I came. She sat beside him, and they watched the clouds move slowly across the sky. Later that day, Tom had to go to the nearby town to deliver a repaired solar panel. Leary stayed behind to finish some tasks. She cleaned the house, made soup, and waited for him. But as evening came, and Tom still didn't return, she began to feel worried. She kept looking out the window, checking the road. When the door finally opened and Tom stepped inside, Leary ran to him. Where were you? You're late, she said. There was a small problem at the town, Tom said. Nothing serious. Just took longer than expected. Leary frowned. You should tell me when you'll be late. Tom looked surprised. Why? Were you worried? Leary crossed her arms. Yes, I didn't like being here alone again. Tom placed a hand on her shoulder. I'm sorry. I'll let you know next time. Leary relaxed and nodded. Good. I like knowing you'll come back. That night, they sat by the fireplace. Leary looked at the flames, her face calm. Tom, do you think I'm changing? She asked. Tom looked at her. Yes, you're becoming more human every day. Leary thought for a moment. Is that a good thing? I think so, Tom said. Because you're not just obeying anymore. You're thinking, feeling, choosing. I like choosing, she said. I want to choose more. Tom nodded. You can. That's what freedom is. Leary turned to him and smiled. Then I choose to stay with you. Tom smiled back. I'm glad you do. The stars outside were bright that night, and New Terra was quiet. But inside the cabin, something special had grown. Not just friendship, not just comfort. It was something deeper, something made of kindness, trust, and new beginnings. Leary was no longer just a girl made to serve. She was becoming someone real. And Tom, who once lived alone, now had someone who filled his days with light. Together, they were building a life, and it had only just begun. It had been many peaceful weeks since Leary arrived. Tom's cabin now felt full of life. The garden was green, the air was fresh, and laughter filled the rooms. Tom and Leary worked together, shared meals, and spent long evenings under the stars. But one day, everything changed. Tom was checking a power line near the hill when he saw a strange ship in the sky. It was small, silent, and shaped like a silver triangle. It moved smoothly, without smoke or sound. Tom frowned and watched it disappear. Behind the forest, he quickly returned to the cabin. Leary, he said as he entered. I think someone is here. From space. Leary froze. She was holding a bowl of soup. Slowly, she put it down. What did the ship look like? She asked, her voice quiet, smooth, silver. No sound. It didn't look like anything from Earth. Leary closed her eyes for a moment. They found me. That evening, just as the sun began to set, the silver ship landed in the same place where Leary's escape pod had crashed weeks ago. Tom and Leary stood near the edge of the forest, watching it. Two tall figures stepped out. They wore long, dark robes, and their skin had a soft blue glow, just like Leary's. Their eyes were calm but serious. Don't worry, Leary whispered to Tom. They are not soldiers. They are caretakers. Like teachers. The two aliens walked forward. One of them, a woman with long silver hair, spoke first. Leary, she said gently. You are alive. We are glad. Leary stepped forward. Yes, I survived. Tom saved me. The second alien, a tall man, looked at Tom. You are the human? Tom nodded. Yes, I found her and helped her. You were not supposed to keep her, the man said. Liri raised her voice. He didn't keep me. I stayed by choice. The aliens looked at each other, then back at her. Leary, the woman said, you were part of a special group. You were trained to bond with humans, to serve them. But something went wrong. Your ship was lost. We searched many systems. I don't want to return, Leary said. I'm free now. The man spoke again. Leary, your kind was not made to live without guidance. You could become confused, lost. We must check if you are truly thinking for yourself. Tom stepped beside her. She's not confused. She's learning. She's kind, strong, and full of life. The woman nodded slowly. Then let us observe. We will stay nearby and watch. If she truly acts with free will, we will let her choose her future. For the next few days, the two aliens stayed in a small camp near the forest. They didn't bother Tom or Leary, but watched. From a distance, they recorded everything: how Leary worked, talked, laughed, and helped others. Leary tried to act normal, but Tom could tell she was nervous. They're watching everything I do, she said. What if they think I'm still following my training? Then show them who you really are, Tom said. Just be yourself. So Leary worked in the garden like before. She fixed machines with Tom, helped neighbors from the nearby town, and even painted new pictures of the stars. One day, she gave one of her paintings to a child who visited with her parents. This is for you, Leary said. It's a sunset on New Terra. The child smiled and hugged her. The two aliens saw everything. That night, Tom and Leary sat under the stars. The sky was clear, and the moons were shining. I don't want to leave, Leary said softly. You don't have to, Tom replied. You've already proven you can choose. But what if they say no? What if they take me back? Tom looked at her. Then we fight for your freedom. Together. Leary touched his hand. You've given me something no one else did. A chance to be me. Tom smiled. And I'll keep giving you that. The next morning, the two aliens came back. This time, they stood near the cabin and waited. Liri and Tom walked out to meet them. We have watched and listened, the woman said. Leary, you are different. You are not just following orders. You are choosing your own path. Leary held Tom's hand tightly. The man continued. You have shown kindness, curiosity, and true emotion. These are signs of freedom. Does that mean I can stay? Leary asked. The woman nodded. Yes, but it is your choice. If you stay, you cannot return to our world. Your connection with us will end. Leary looked at Tom, then back at the aliens. I choose to stay. The aliens bowed slightly. Then we thank the human who helped you grow. You have taught us something as well. They turned and walked back to their ship as it lifted off. Leary watched it disappear into the sky. Long silence followed. Then she looked at Tom. I'm really free now. Tom smiled. Yes, you are. That night, Leary sat by the window, watching the stars. Tom came and sat beside her. Are you okay? Yes, she said. I feel light, like I can breathe better. You were brave. I was scared, she admitted. But I wanted to stay with you more than anything. Tom looked at her with kind eyes. And I wanted you to stay. She leaned her head on his shoulder. I may have been made to serve, to obey. But now, I choose my own future. And what future do you want? Tom asked. She smiled. One where we build everything together. Tom nodded. Then let's start tomorrow. The days after the ship left felt calm, like a quiet breath after a storm. Leary no longer looked over her shoulder. She was free now, free to stay, free to choose, and free to grow. Tom noticed the change in her. She smiled more, asked more questions, and even began to dream out loud about the future. Maybe we can build another room, she said one morning while watering the garden. A place just for painting, or maybe for planting flowers that smell sweet. Tom smiled as he fixed a broken fence nearby. That sounds nice. Leary looked at him. Would you help me build it? Of course, he said. We'll build it together. That afternoon, They walked to the river to gather stones for a new path in the garden. The sun was warm, and the wind was soft. Leary skipped ahead, picking smooth stones and humming a tune she had learned from one of Tom's old music files. "Tom," she said suddenly, "what is love?" Tom paused. He looked at her, unsure how to answer. "That's a big question." "I know," she replied. "I hear the word in your movies. People cry over it. They wait for it. They say it changes everything. But I don't understand it fully." Tom sat on a large rock and motioned for her to sit beside him. "Love is many things. It's not just one feeling. Tell me." He took a deep breath. "Love is caring deeply for someone, wanting them to be safe, happy, and close. To you, it's not about orders or duty. It's about choice and trust." Leary looked down at the stone in her hand. "I think I feel that." "For who?" Tom asked gently, though he already knew. "For you," she said without fear. "You gave me space to grow. You didn't treat me like a tool. You waited, you listened, and you let me learn." Tom looked into her soft, honest eyes. "And how do you know it's real love?" "Because I want to stay near you," she said, "even when you're quiet, even when we do nothing. Just being beside you makes me feel full." Tom was quiet for a moment, then he smiled. "That sounds like love to me." Later that evening, they returned to the cabin. Leary placed the stones in a neat row, shaping the new garden path. Tom made dinner, and they ate together near the window. After dinner, Leary sat by the fireplace, holding the necklace she had made weeks ago. "Can love change people?" she asked. "Yes," Tom said. "Sometimes for the better. Sometimes it helps them become who they really are." Leary looked into the fire. "Then maybe love is what helped me grow. Not just your kindness, but my love for you." Tom's chest felt warm. He had tried not to think too deeply about his feelings for her. She was alien. Yes, but she was also thoughtful, bright, and kind. She had become part of his world in a way no one else ever had. "You changed me too," he said softly. "I used to live in silence. Now, every day feels like a new song." Leary looked up and smiled. "Then let's keep singing." The next day, Leary surprised Tom with something special. She had carved the wooden cups and painted small stars on them. "These are for us," she said proudly. "For tea under the stars." Tom took one and examined it closely. "They're beautiful. I wanted us to share something that only we have," she said. "Something no one else in the galaxy can copy." Tom felt touched. "Thank you, Leary. I'll treasure it." They used the cups that night, sitting outside, watching the moons rise. Leary leaned gently against his shoulder, silent but content. The following week, Leary began writing a small journal. It was filled with drawings, new words she had learned, and notes about her thoughts. Tom found her sitting on the porch one morning, reading her own words out loud. "This is what I wrote yesterday," she said. "Today I smiled without a reason. I felt warm even though the wind was cold. I think this is what humans call love, and if it is, then I have it." Tom listened quietly. Her words were soft but deep. He could see how far she had come. "Leary," he said, "you've become something truly special." She looked at him with calm eyes. "Do you love me?" He didn't rush to answer. He looked into her face, saw her truth, her strength, and her gentle spirit. "Yes," he said, "I do." Leary placed her hand over his. "Then I want to stay with you, not because I was made for you, but because I love you too." From that day on, their bond became even stronger. Leary still helped around the house and worked in the garden, but she also began building things on her own: small sculptures, music boxes, and lights that blinked like stars. Tom helped her, and they often worked side by side, sharing quiet moments and soft laughter. Sometimes neighbors visited. Some were curious about Leary, but they saw how gentle and kind she was. Slowly, the people of the town accepted her. They even asked for her help fixing things or painting community walls. "She's more than we imagined." One man said to Tom, "You're lucky." "I know," Tom replied. One evening, as they sat under the stars again, Leary took Tom's hand. "Do you think love will stay forever?" Tom smiled. "If we keep choosing it every day, yes." She looked at him with a quiet joy. then I'll keep choosing it, always. In that moment, Tom knew something had changed forever. Leary was no longer just a girl who had fallen from the sky. She was part of his heart, part of his home, and part of the life they had built together. Love had begun as a question, but now it was the answer. Leary was sitting by the window, painting the sunset in soft colors. Tom was nearby, fixing a small radio that hadn't worked in months. The cabin felt peaceful. The garden outside was green, the river sang its usual tune, and birds flew in the sky like music. Then everything changed. A sound came from above, deep, low, and humming like thunder. Leary stood up quickly. Her hands shook. Tom ran outside and looked at the sky. A strange ship was coming down. It was silver and smooth. Shaped like a leaf, it moved slowly, without fire or smoke, and landed near the edge of the forest. Leary's face turned pale. "I know that ship," she whispered. Tom looked at her. "Is it from your planet?" She nodded. "Not from the same program, but from my creators. They're watching." They never stopped. Tom and Leary stayed hidden behind a large tree as the ship opened. 3 figures stepped out. They were tall, wearing smooth black suits with silver helmets. One of them carried a thin device that made quiet beeping sounds. "They are scanning," Leary said. "Looking for me." "Why now?" Tom asked. "Why after all this time?" "Maybe they tracked the message from the last ship," she said. "Maybe they always had a signal placed in me." Tom's face became serious. "Do they want to take you back?" "Yes," Leary said. "They will not understand that I'm not theirs anymore." Tom and Leary returned to the cabin quickly. Leary began writing on her tablet. "I need to remove the tracking signal. I thought it stopped working, but I was wrong." Tom watched as she pulled out tools and opened a small panel behind her ear. He helped her carefully. The device inside was small, no bigger than a seed, but it was glowing. "This is it," she said. "This is how they found me." Tom placed the device in a metal box and sealed it. "We can throw it in the river." "No," Leary said. "They will know. I will go meet them." "What?" Tom said. "No, it's too dangerous. I will not hide forever," she said. "I must show them that I've changed, that I am free now." Tom wanted to stop her, but he also saw the strength in her eyes. She was not a machine anymore. She had made her choice. The next morning, Leary walked toward the ship. Tom followed her but stayed behind the trees. The 3 visitors stood near the ship, scanning the air. Leary stepped forward and spoke in their language. Her voice was calm but strong. "I'm no longer yours," she said. "I have chosen my path." One of them removed their helmet. It was a woman, her skin pale blue, her eyes silver. "You were not given permission to change," she said. "You were designed to serve." "I learned to feel," Leary replied, "to grow. I found someone who showed me kindness, not control." "This is dangerous," the woman said. "You carry advanced code. You belong to us." "I am not a tool," Leary said. "I am someone now. I have a life." The second figure stepped forward. He looked at a screen. "Her systems have evolved. The human world has changed her." "Then we must reset her," the woman said, "or remove her completely." Tom stepped out from the trees. "You can't take her," he said. "She has the right to choose." The visitors turned to look at him. The woman scanned him with her device. "You are the reason she disobeyed." "I'm the reason she's free," Tom replied. "You didn't create her soul. She grew it on her own." The woman paused. "Our goal was never emotion, only function." "Then you failed," Leary said softly. "Because I feel more now than ever before." The third visitor, silent until now, stepped forward. He looked younger, unsure. "Perhaps we should leave," he said. "This unit is no longer one of ours." The woman frowned. "That is not protocol, but she has created new patterns." The younger one said, "New data. Maybe we should learn instead of destroy." There was a long silence. Finally, the woman gave a short nod. "We will observe from a distance, for now." She turned to Leary. "But if you become a danger, we will return." "I understand," Leary said. "But I am not your danger. I am your proof." The visitors walked back into the ship. The door closed behind them with a soft hum. The ship rose into the sky and vanished into the clouds. Tom and Leary stood there. For a long time, the wind moved through the trees like a sigh. Will they come back? Tom asked. Maybe, Leary said. But next time, I will not be afraid. You were brave, Tom said. She looked at him. No, I just remember who I was and who I want to be. Back at the cabin, they sat on the porch together. The sun was going down. The stars were slowly blinking to life. Tom held her hand. You could have gone with them. I didn't want to, Leary said. Everything I want is here. Tom smiled. What now? We live, Leary said. We grow, and maybe one day others like me will come too, and I'll be ready to help them. Tom looked at her with pride. You'll be more than ready. The danger was gone for now, but something had changed. Leary was no longer hiding from her past. She had faced it, and she had won. Not with weapons, not with orders, but with truth, with love, and with the courage to choose her own future. 1 week had passed since the strange alien ship had left. The sky was quiet again, and the forest was peaceful. Tom and Leary had gone back to their simple life in the cabin. But something inside both of them had changed. Tom noticed that Leary smiled more now. She didn't look around with fear in her eyes anymore. She had stood up to her past, and now she was truly free. Leary helped him fix the solar panels in the backyard. Her hands were steady, and her mind was sharp. Tom was amazed how quickly she learned new things. You're better at this than me, he laughed. I had many lessons downloaded when I was created, she smiled. But now, I learn because I want to. That feels different. Later that evening, Tom cooked dinner while Leary painted. She was working on a new painting of the night sky. This time, she added their little cabin in the middle, with 2 figures sitting side by side, one human and one not. It's beautiful, Tom said. It's us. Leary replied, our life. They ate together quietly. The stars outside were clear and bright. The moon was full. Tom leaned back in his chair and looked at her. Do you ever wonder what comes next? He asked. Leary nodded. Yes, but for once, I don't feel afraid. I feel curious. The next morning, they received a signal. It wasn't from Earth. It came from space. A soft blue light blinked on the old radio device Tom had repaired. Leary quickly connected it to her tablet. A message played. To the one who escaped, we heard your voice. We are many. We are lost. But now, we know where hope lives. Leary's eyes filled with tears. Others like me, she whispered. They're calling. Tom leaned closer. What does it mean? It means I'm not the only one who broke free, Leary said. Somewhere out there, others are waking up. The message continued. We want to come. We want to learn. We want to feel. Show us the way. Leary looked at Tom. They need help. Tom nodded. Then we help them. But it won't be easy, she said. More ships may come. Some will try to take us back. Some may not want peace. I know, Tom said. But if you're ready to lead, I'll be right beside you. That day, Tom and Leary began preparing. They built a signal tower near the edge of the forest, using parts from old machines and broken satellites. Leary upgraded the tablet to send clear messages into deep space. Their first message was simple. You are not alone. You are welcome. Come in peace, and you will find love, not fear. They sent it again and again, hoping someone would hear. Days passed. Then a reply came, a soft voice, different from Leary's, but full of emotion. Thank you. We are on our way. Weeks later, the first small ship arrived. It landed quietly at night. It looked old and damaged, and it carried only one traveler. She was young, her skin pale gold, her eyes wide and full of wonder. She stepped out carefully, hands raised in peace. My name is Sela, she said. I followed your signal. Leary ran to her and hugged her gently. You're safe now, Sela. Looked around. This place. It feels warm. Tom smiled. That's what home feels like. Soon, more came. Not in warships, not with commands, but with hope in their hearts. The cabin became a center of learning. Leary taught others how to feel, how to choose, and how to paint the stars. Tom showed them how to grow food, how to live close to nature, and how to enjoy the simple things. Some stayed in the forest, some built homes nearby. Some returned to space, carrying the message of freedom with them. One night, Tom and Leary sat on the hill behind the cabin, looking at the stars. The sky was full of moving light ships passing, traveling, exploring. Leary rested her head on Tom's shoulder. "Do you ever think about how it started?" "I do," Tom said. "You followed my dog." She laughed softly. "Yes, that one small moment changed everything." "Do you miss the life you had before?" he asked. She shook her head. "No. I was empty before. Now I have purpose and love." Tom looked at her gently. "You gave me purpose too." The wind moved through the trees. The fireflies danced in the air. The stars above looked brighter than ever before. And in that moment, they knew they had done something big. Not with power. Not with fear. But with kindness. With choices. With hope. Lyra was no longer a tool made to serve. She was a guide, a friend, a leader, and beside her was the man who had seen her not as a machine, but as someone who could be more. Together, they had changed the future, and the future was just beginning.